This is EA Sports Tour. Today we're here at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all the action out on the course. Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
First and foremost, Rich is going to be the host of the 2015 US Open, but it's a true links golf course designed by Robert Trent Jones II. Breathtaking views of the Puget Sound, as well as the Olympic Mountains on a clear day.
Frank, you think of links golf, you think of Scotland, the home of golf. Links in the state of Washington?
That's right, and it is a true links too. Wide fairways. You're going to have a little bit of imagination today as well, because when this golf course plays firm and fast, you've got to play the bump and run, and you will need a ton of variety of shots around the greens.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole.
Really, this is an awkward length.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Even par early on. Now to the second hole here at Chambers Bay, and Frank, it is not overly long. Where's the trouble here?
Well, 281 yards really to the big long bunker that goes all the way to the green. So as long as you can avoid that, you don't have to hit driver down here, just something that's going to be a little short of that. You're still only going to have 100 yards really, or just over 100 yards in for your second shot. A really good chance too to get off to a good start.
Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. That weather, the wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
Birdie try up next. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Almost. Wow. He's going to beat himself up on the way to the next tee. You don't miss those putts. So a tester from 4 feet. Still playing even for the day after the par. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners. Well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
Stuck the follow through right there. This could be really good. Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in.
Even par currently.
Well, you could see he's just disgusted with that effort. He needs this for par. Good par. Frank, here on the fourth tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right. So he's loading up on it.
Look at the coil there.
Just smokes it. Oh, huge. Huge with a capital F.
Busted that. Good tee shot right in the short grass. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up.
It's no snack, though.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Well, Frank, here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. Hole looks straight away, but you'll see it starts to pinch in, that fairway that is, by bunkers left and right, and those bunkers come in exactly where you're trying to hit your tee shot.
Oh, he loves that one. You can see it. This one is high, it is deep, and it is gone. Frank, what do we have with the approach shot here at the 5th?
Just got to be cognizant of that bunker that's just central front of this green. You've either got to go around it, or if you're good enough, then you go straight over it, but you've got to have a ton of spin on the second shot.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. So into red figures at 1 under. Ready to tee off here at the 6th. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
Well, as long as it's not in the rough, the bunkers, well, there's no trees here, really. That little green strip, that runway down there, another hole that bends to the right. But find the fairway. The fairway's wide enough. You've got a pretty good idea exactly where you want to go. And once again, this is one of the shorter par 4s. So good drive here, just a short iron in. Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. Inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Collects another birdie with that stroke and goes to 2 under. Frank, this is a daunting challenge. The 7th hole, long par 4. It's over 500 yards.
A huge bunker down the right side that probably runs for a good 200-300 yards. Obviously, that's to be avoided. And then, of course, there's the mounds and the hammocks and the dunes and that on the left side. That's the reason, really, why this hole's called Humpback. But then, a little bit like the golf course, there's only one greenside bunker to be worried about, but enough green left of that.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Boy, this would be nice, Frank. I mean, you talk about jump-starting a round. If he were to make another birdie, boy, he'd really have it going in the right direction.
Yeah, you can sort of feel it too. People around there know. I've seen the birdies to this point.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realise that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Setting up for another approach, our featured golfer has continued that excellent play from earlier in the round.
Indeed. There's no better feeling in the world than when you know you're firing on all cylinders. Hitting fairways, second shot's just going straight at the flag. Right now, everything is working.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Third birdie of the round. Rounding out the front side here at Chambers Bay with a par 3, the 9th.
Well, the tee is nearly 100 feet above the level of the green, so you can see everything. This is one of the best views on the golf course. A fairly lengthy par 3. Obviously it's stout, just over 200 yards, but you can see the green off that elevated tee, and this requires your best shot. This one's going left, Rich.
Not knocking down the flagstick here, but looks as though it will find the green. Well, on the green, but far from the hole.
Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher. A lot of work coming up here.
What a terrible putt right there. Shouldn't be a problem here. Knocks that putt in for par to stay at 3 under. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
You like this one, Frank?
Oh, it's a good one. Safely on.
Settles in over the putt. How about that? 4 under par. Getting set to tee off at the 11th hole, long par 4, 537 yards. Frank, how do you play this hole, with a bazooka?
Yeah, try and take that dune out of play, that's for sure, in the middle of the fairway. Bunkers down the left are more for scenic rather than they're not really problematic for the player off the tee. Just, as I said, hit it over that dune, and then really there's a ridge in the middle of this green, so you've got to be on the right level. This has exploded off the club face.
The 11th hole, Frank, what's the right way to get at it?
Just got to be cognizant of that ridge that cuts through the middle of this green, that sort of turns this green into one simple green into all these little complex sort of sections. That's the biggest thing, but that's also, you realize very, very quickly, you're playing links golf today.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Four under on the day. The 12th here at Chambers Bay is known as the Narrows. What's the play here, Frank?
Two, really. You could just sort of iron it down there, have a little wedge or a pitch in there with no sweat whatsoever. Or, if you want to have a little bit of fun, if you can drive it over that bunker that's just short left of this green, you might just putt for an eagle.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. 13th hole now. It's a dogleg right, par 4. Frank?
But at 534 yards, you need an eagle eye, which is the name of the hole, to find exactly where you want to hit this. Doglegs to the right, there is a fairway that's plenty wide to accept a good tee shot. And then from there on in, it's actually a relatively straightforward second shot, providing you can miss that bunker that's just short in the middle of the green.
Couldn't ask for too much better here. Frank, what's the best way to get at the 13th here?
Avoid those ridges left and right, or the mounds, should I say. That bunker that's well placed in the front of the green, obviously you've got to carry that, but this one you've really got to keep it in line with the middle of the green.
This one has a chance to be close. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. On fire right now, 7 under par. Frank, now to the 14th hole, and this is the 5th consecutive par 4 here at Chambers Bay, and by this point the players will know whether they're on their game or off their game.
At 546 yards, this hole can be shortened considerably if you choose to take a brave line down the left side. You can chew off as much as 70 or 80 yards. But once again here, because the hole bends to the left, you've really got to know which direction that wind is coming from.
And the tee shot ends up in the bunker, 99 yards away. Frank, you've played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
Frank, normally in a golf course, you don't want to spend too much time in the trees, with the trees, around the trees. But part of me wants to go up and hug this tree because he's all alone. It's the only tree on the whole golf course.
Well, I know you're a tree hugger, Rich. I really do. But at 246 yards, when they play this off the back tee at the US Open, believe me, nobody's hugging that tree. They're just trying to make 3.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Now to the 3-hole finishing stretch here at Chambers Bay, and we get it started with a relatively short par 4. It's a 423-yard hole, the 16th, Frank.
Bend slightly to the right. There's a huge bunker all the way down the right side that sort of starts, I don't know, maybe about 100 yards off the tee, goes all the way to the green. You go right, and then you realize why this hole is called Beach.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that, hanging in the sky.
We knew it right away. Picked up the tee, didn't even look at it. We can see it. It's perfect. Right down the middle of the fairway. See if you this one to drop here at the 16th for a bird. Now to double figures under par. That's a good place to be. 10 under. Just 2 holes left to play. Now a par 3, the 17th, 218 yards, and all sorts of trouble, Frank, down that right.
Well, if you weren't beached at the 16th, then there's a chance you can be derailed, which is what this hole's called, at 17. Difficult par 3, you can see the bunker there in front, and once again, wind conditions. This is going to probably require one of the best tee shots, especially in the closing stages of the US Open.
That was a solid strike and a good result.
I've heard of being on the zone, but this is he's just making it look so easy.
Just sensational golf. I mean, he is knocking down every flagstick right now. What a performance. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department in your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
That one came right off the meat of the bat. He really laid into that.
More than got a piece of that.
From a perfect position, ready to play his next shot. Frank, there's only one tree on the entire golf course here at Chambers Bay. Also, no houses, no golf carts. It's kind of nice. It's sort of pure out there.
It's what golf is and what should be, and what it should be. And sadly, we've gone away from it at times. But when you come back to places like Chambers Bay, and I know Chambers Bay is still a new golf course, but it still reminds us how golf really, it can be played by any level, by any male or female. It doesn't discriminate against age either. So, golf is something. It is a game that can be played by everyone. And when you see a true walking links golf course like Chambers Bay, you go, yeah, I could do it.
How about that terrific approach shot setting up a makeable eagle putt?
That's a cruel game.
Frank, I've done it with donuts, a half a dozen, but never with birdies. 6 in a row?
Yeah, it's time to watch. This will be something.
Really good round out there today. What's the mindset, Frank, to keep it going?
The first thing, really, Rich, just try and keep the same composure for tomorrow's round. Get some rest. We know that. Shouldn't really have to hit the range. Swings in good position. Just keep it easy and visualize how tomorrow's going to pan out.
Hello again and welcome, Rich Lerner, alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo, here in the state of Washington, getting ready for a wonderful day of golf. Chambers Bay, the site of the action. And Frank, what can you tell us about this course?
Well, if you're not looking at the golf course today, you can certainly look at the scenery, which is fantastic today. The water is just glistening. Those Olympic mountains are just standing out there in the background. But once your mind drifts back to the golf course, you're going to have your game today. Firm and fast, going to play like a true links.
Is the wind a factor?
It is. You get some of those cross breeze holes, then all of a sudden you really better know exactly how you're striking the ball.
There are a number of really good and important grow the game initiatives out there. One of those is the First Tee program, and that allows youngsters who otherwise might not have an opportunity, the chance to put a golf club in their hands, allows them the chance to pick up this game and learn some of the core values that come along with it. It's about much more than making a score. It's about integrity. It is about responsibility, values like that. And this game is just so good in instilling those kind of characteristics in young people.
gone for a little extra. Grab the fire extinguisher, put out that ball is on fire. It's melting going through the air. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green.
It's like cyber vision. Shot after shot, right at the flag.
Just dialed in. And this would be nice. 2 straight birdies. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. And so just getting started. Even par so far. Now at the second and a medium-length par 4, Frank.
Yeah, a slight dogleg to the left, rather long, skinny green here, well bunkered all the way down the left side. Really anything down the right and the natural contours of the land should kick that ball a little to the left.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Frank, what's the best way to access the hole location on this second shot here at the second hole at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's really set up with a drive. If you can drive it down the right side, you get a better view. Plus, you can avoid that ridge that's in the middle of the green on the left side. If you're coming in from the left side, that bunker on the right, now you realize why they put that there. Because when you've got a skirt to the right of that ridge, that second shot becomes a little more difficult.
In red figures at 1 under par. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners, well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. Frank, standing here on the 4th tee at Chambers Bay, you can see what this golf course is all about with those dunes on the left and all that sand down on the right. A lot of trouble here.
Yeah, first hole, Rich, really that bends to the right, but if anything, you want to keep the tee shot down the left side. It's going to give you a better angle to the green. And unlike the 2 previous holes, this fairway slopes to the other direction, to the right.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Now they're rolling. 3 under par. Well, Frank, here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. Hole looks straight away, but you'll see it starts to pinch in, that fairway that is, by bunkers left and right. Those bunkers come in exactly where you're trying to hit your tee shot. That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, what do we have with the approach shot here at the 5th?
Just got to be cognizant of that bunker. That's you can see it there. That's just central front of this green. You've either got to go around it, or if you're good enough, then you go straight over it, but you've got to have a ton of spin on the second shot.
Birdie try up next.
Starting to get a little bit of a roll and looking at another one.
Really playing well. Let's see if he can add another birdie. Putting a good round together now at 4 under. Ready to tee off here at the 6th. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
Well, as long as it's not in the rough, the bunkers, well, there's no trees here, really. That little green strip, that runway down there. Another hole that bends to the right. Find the fairway. The fairway's wide enough. You've got a pretty good idea exactly where you want to go. And once again, this is one of the shorter par 4s. So good drive here, just a short iron in.
Great strike and a great result. Setting up, good chance to attack the flag. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This could be a good one. Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, this is a daunting challenge. The 7th hole, long par 4. It's over 500 yards.
A huge bunker down the right side that probably runs for a good 200-300 yards. Obviously, that's to be avoided. And then, of course, there's the mounds and the hummocks and the dunes and that on the left side. That's the reason, really, why this hole's called Humpback. But then, a little bit like the golf course, there's only one green side bunker to be worried about, but enough green left of that.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. Getting set now over the putt. This is impressive now. 6 under par and 2 straight birdies. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realize that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage.
Look at this. Look at all the power in that coil.
Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. Crucial eagle attempt on the way. Playing his 3rd here at the par 5. Well, that's just a case of not focusing right there. What a lapse in concentration. Well, Frank, we've heard of lucky sevens. Nothing lucky about this run. This has been spectacular.
Just pure genius out there at the moment. This is something to watch. So, fingers crossed, 7 in a row.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Did the job right there. Frank, the ninth grand sounding, like something that...
You're talking Greek god here. Well, the mere mortals, Rich.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That's how you play the game. Right there for the putt. Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Well, you can see it there. Feels very good about what he's doing. That's a nice par putt. Stays at 6 under. Excellent front side. Trying to keep it going here on the second nine.
He's just playing beautifully. Hitting so many good shots. Giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going? What a great shot.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. So a tester from 4 feet. Continuing to play well. -7 now after that putt. Getting set to tee off at the 11th hole. Long par 4, 537 yards. Frank, how do you play this hole? With a bazooka?
Yeah, try and take that June out of play, that's for sure, in the middle of the field. Bunkers down the left are more for seating rather than, they're not really problematic for the player off the tee. Just, as I said, hit it over that June, and then really there's a ridge in the middle of the screen, so you've got to be on the right level.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. He has this for a birdie. 8 under par, 4 to round. Measuring 311 yards, the 12th Frank seems to offer an opportunity for a player to do something pretty dramatic here.
Yeah, it's called the Narrows. Really, it should be called the Temptation, because what player stands on a tee knowing he can reach and doesn't take up the gauntlet?
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot.
Well, we'll never know if that had gone in, because it never made it.
Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A 3rd straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. 13th hole now. It's a dogleg right, par 4. Frank?
But at 534 yards, you need an eagle eye, which is the name of the hole, to find exactly where you want to hit this. Doglegs to the right. There is a fairway that's plenty wide to accept a good tee shot. And then from there on in, it's actually a relatively straightforward second shot, providing you can miss that bunker that's just short in the middle of the green. Yeah, this is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks.
Frank, you always talk about it not compounding the error, but here again, another shot from the rough.
Yeah, if you try again.
Wow, Frank, he did well just to get it on the green from that line.
I didn't think that was doable.
This is a 13-footer. Well, that's just a poor putt, Frank, and now let's hope he doesn't make a Michael Bublé.
He's hardly going to be singing after that one.
Well, too bad. He gives one back. Frank, this is the 5th par 4 in a row, and they're not easy. This one here at 14, really a daunting tee shot.
It is. That's why it's called Cape Fair. A true Cape hole in golf, Rich, is when you've got to decide how much you want to bite off when you hit across a slight dogleg. And this one, really, you're going to be rewarded the further left you can go. There is one little bunker in the middle of the fairway that you have to avoid. That's going to be 320 or so yards off the tee. This hole, 546 yards, you're going to see a variety of second shots, or the length of second shots here, determined purely by the bravery of the tee shot.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Locked in on the read and the speed.
Had every chance of going in.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
This to surrender, only one shot. 7 under on the day. Frank, normally on a golf course, you don't want to spend too much time in the trees, with the trees, around the trees. But part of me wants to go up and hug this tree because he's all alone. It's the only tree on the whole golf course.
Well, I know you're a tree hugger, Rich. I really do. But at 246 yards, when they play this off the back tee at the US Open, believe me, nobody's hugging that tree. They're just trying to make 3.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now to the 3-hole finishing stretch here at Chambers Bay, and we get it started with a relatively short par 4. It's a 423-yard hole, the 16th, Frank.
Bend slightly to the right. There's a huge bunker all the way down the right side that sort of starts, I don't know, maybe about 100 yards off the tee, goes all the way to the green. You go right, and then you realize why this hole is called Beach.
Well, that one is deep. Every bit of that ball. Frank, what's the danger here on the approach to the 16th, considering the green is really pretty small?
Well, obviously it's a short par 4, so you know that the problem's going to happen up ahead, and that's exactly what it does. This is probably one of the smallest, narrowest greens at Chambers Bay, and you can see it slopes dramatically from left to right. That has to be taken into consideration with the second shot.
What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Just 2 holes left to play. Now a par 3, the 17th, 218 yards, and all sorts of trouble, Frank, down that right.
Well, if you weren't beached at the 16th, then there's a chance you can be derailed, which is what this hole's called, at 17. Difficult par 3. You can see the bunker there in front, and once again, wind conditions. This is going to probably require one of the best tee shots, especially in the closing stages of the US Open.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Let's see if he can make it 3 in a row.
He can't be that good.
Well, there's impressive, and then there's mind-boggling. We're at mind-boggling now. 10 under par. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walk-in golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course. Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
What a spectacular shot that was. We'll have a look at Eagle. These putts keep the round together. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Yeah, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Count that for a birdie. Frank, that was an impressive round out there today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this tournament plays out.
Presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Just a spectacular setting here in the Pacific Northwest. We're at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, it's almost like a nature walk out there. It's built amongst these wonderful sand dunes. As far as trees are concerned, there's only one really that comes into play. The rest are all in the distance, so you feel very much at one with the elements. It's kind of nice, actually, just going for a little stroll out there like that. Refreshing.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Just a couple of feet. 1 under early in the round. Now at the second and a medium-length par 4, Frank.
Yeah, a slight dogleg to the left, rather long, skinny green here, well bunkered all the way down the left side. Really anything down the right and the natural contours of the land should kick that ball a little to the left. That's a ginormous tee shot.
Frank, what do you think about this approach shot here at the second at Chambers Bay?
If you've driven it down the right side, you have a much better view of this green, better access to the flag when it's on the back left. You really want to just avoid that little bunker that cuts in on the right side. There's a little sort of gut on that left side of the green, where it sort of collects the ball.
Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. Well, how about this start? Birdie to open the round. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners, well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
Stuck the follow-through right there. This could be really good. That is classy.
Yeah, a chance of going in.
Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A third straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Now they're rolling. 3 under par. Frank, standing here on the 4th tee at Chambers Bay, you can see what this golf course is all about with those dunes on the left and all that sand down on the right. A lot of trouble here.
Yeah, first hole, Rich, really, that bends to the right, but if anything, you want to keep the tee shot down the left side. It's going to give you a better angle to the green. And unlike the 2 previous holes, this fairway slopes to the other direction, to the right.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
This is a good-looking shot. Throwing darts just inside of 5 feet. Frank, this is the kind of start every player wants.
Yeah, swinging it well. Certainly hitting the ball in the right place there, and yeah, good thing too. He's actually putting well.
Well, Frank, here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. Hole looks straight away, but you'll see it starts to pinch in that fairway there. He's gone for a little extra. Rich, that is annihilation of a golf ball.
Absolutely love it. I mean, he just tore that thing to pieces. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Takes care of business. 5 under par. Getting set to hit the tee shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
There's a nice dune down that left side that sort of gives you a good line that you can work the ball off here. But remember, this is a links golf course, so you don't try and fight Mother Nature because she'll always win. So just anything down the left, let that ball sort of kick its way back towards the middle of the fairway. A lengthy par 4, though, at 495. This has exploded off the club face.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
I mean, this is amazing, Frank. He has knocked down every flagstick and a chance here for 6 birdies in a row.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fine. 6?
On the 7th tee now, it is over 500 yards from the back tee.
Yeah, this is called humpback, and you can see why there's all those mounds and undulations between you and the hole, plus all that amazing bunkering down the right side. All to be avoided, really. If you can do that, then you get a decent look at this green. But yeah, you've mentioned it, 500 plus yards. It's going to play longer than that uphill.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. This looks to be at least an extra club, maybe 2 clubs going way up that hill to the green. Good swing, good shot yet again. That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Getting pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. So a tester from 4 feet. Well, you can't make them all. You'd like to, but you can't. Just a little tap in here. That puts them at 4 under for the round. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realise that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green that actually slopes it back towards the player, so use that to your advantage.
Wow, smoked that tee shot. Playing his second shot here at the par 5. Frank, very solid shot there.
Yeah, 12-footer coming up.
He's going to beat himself up on the way to the next tee. You don't miss those putts. Starting to really play well, -5. Frank, the 9th hole is called Olympus. Feels as though Russell Crowe should be standing on the tee, starring in some sort of a movie about the Greek gods.
I knew you'd go like Titans and that down here, but this golf course is for the mere mortals, Rich. This isn't for the Greek gods and the Titans of the world. They might think they are, but this is for you and me. This is for everybody. 36 handicappers. We can all play here.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That was not a very good read right there. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Wow, I thought he made that. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This to avoid a huge number. This is for bogey. So the featured player losing a shot, the question becomes, Frank, have they lost their way?
Yeah, live by the sword, die by the sword.
What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, hit the stroke limit on that one. Getting set to tee off at the 11th hole, long par 4, 537 yards. Frank, how do you play this hole, with a bazooka?
Yeah, try and take that June out of play, that's for sure, in the middle of the fairway. Bunkers down the left are more for scenic rather than they're not really problematic for the player off the tee. Just, as I said, hit it over that June, and then really there's a ridge in the middle of this green, so you've got to be on the right level.
Nice drive, right in the fairway, and a good swing on that one. The 11th hole, Frank, what's ahead here?
This is another green that's sort of sloped. There's a lot of little slopes in this green here, plus the green angles from right to left. So it just depends on whether that second shot that lands. You've got to be well aware of what you're landing on. If you're landing on a downslope, it's going to kick forward. Obviously, an upslope, it's going to stop that much quicker. Even par currently.
In red figures at 1 under par. Measuring 311 yards, the 12th, Frank, seems to offer an opportunity for a player to do something pretty dramatic here.
Yeah, it's called the Narrows. Really, it should be called the Temptation, because what player stands on a tee knowing he can reach and doesn't take up the gauntlet?
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot.
Give me a break, Rich. Your mum could make that.
Ooh, that's a disappointment, Frank. Just a couple of feet. Starting to heat up now. Back-to-back birdies. Well done. 13th hole now. It's a dogleg right, par 4. Frank?
But at 534 yards, you need an eagle eye, which is the name of the hole, to find exactly where you want to hit this. Doglegs to the right. There is a fairway that's plenty wide to accept a good tee shot. And then from there on in, it's actually a relatively straightforward second shot, providing you can miss that bunker that's just short in the middle of the green.
I mean, that is a monster hit right there. He carried that more than 350 yards. Frank, a bunker in front of the green here. So how does that impact what the player's going to do?
Well, it's not just the bunker, too. It's the ridges left and right that are going to repel a shot. So if you go too far left to that bunker in front of the green, or too far right, that ball's going to kick all the way off the green. So really, that bunker's a good line, but you've got to carry it.
Good-looking shot right here. That will be a great look at birdie. Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A third straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Did the job right there. Frank, now to the 14th hole, and this is the 5th consecutive par 4 here at Chambers Bay, and by this point the players will know whether they're on their game or off their game.
At 546 yards, this hole can be shortened considerably if you choose to take a brave line down the left side. You can chew off as much as 70 or 80 yards. But once again here, because the hole bends to the left, you've really got to know which direction that wind is coming from. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
And with that putt, he moves to 3 under. Frank, normally on a golf course, you don't want to spend too much time in the trees, with the trees, around the trees. But part of me wants to go up and hug this tree because he's all alone. It's the only tree on the whole golf course.
Well, I know you're a tree hugger, Rich. I really do. But at 246 yards, when they play this off the back tee at the US Open, believe me, nobody's hugging that tree. They're just trying to make 3.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Just a well-played approach shot right there. Only about 10 feet away, and a good look at birdie here. Wow, I thought that was in. Clean this up with a tap. Keeps the momentum going with that putt. Stays at 3 under. Getting set to take on the finishing holes here at Chambers Bay. How do you do it in the right way, Frank?
Well, when you look down this fairway, obviously everything slopes left to right. That makes this hole actually play a little bit more of a dogleg to the right, even though it doesn't look it. And then, of course, that green up ahead, it's like a tabletop. So precision here is absolutely paramount.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. That puts them at 4 under for the round. Just 2 holes left to play. Now a par 3, the 17th, 218 yards, and all sorts of trouble, Frank, down that right.
Well, if you weren't beached at the 16th, then there's a chance you can be derailed, which is what this hole's called, at 17. Difficult par 3. You can see the bunker there in front, and once again, wind conditions. This is going to probably require one of the best tee shots, especially in the closing stages of the US Open.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot.
Second shot.
One more turn of the golf ball.
Hubert Green once said 99% of putts that come up short don't go in.
Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway. And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot.
Some snack, though.
You can't leave an eagle putt short.
Now listen, anytime I left it short, I didn't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody I left it short.
Frank, that was just a dazzling display of golf today.
It's amazing how a game at times it can be so hard and just absolutely drive you crazy can appear to be so simple. This was just an absolute joy to watch today.
So that'll do it for Frank Nobilo and our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time. EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present final round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Well, this is one of my favorite tournaments of the year. It's the EA Sports Spring Invitational, and just a stunning golf course. It's Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. And Frank, we're in for quite a day.
We are. We're going to see the decision-making processes of some of the fine players out there today. And the reason why I say that, Rich, is because there's so much elevation here at Wolf Creek, so you're going to have to make those adjustments on the downhill and the uphill. Club selection decisions. And, of course, the one that does that the best is more than likely the one that's going to come out on top.
Setting up to start the back nine here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front nine, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
Frank, they say you have to ride the wind. Boy, he got all of that one.
Got every ounce out of the conditions. Rich, now's the time to knuckle down. I know things haven't gone right up to this point, but really, this is where you can still get something out of it. Just give yourself that opportunity. You're good enough.
Beauty of golf, Frank. One good strike comes off the center of the bat, one good result, and you begin to feel differently about things. This is a good-looking shot. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
And getting ready for the putt. That one drops for a birdie. We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough, just persuade yourself that. Try not to look at the canyon and the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable.
Frank, how did he do there?
Well, he's inside 30 feet, but 27 feet, that's not exactly what you'd call close. Had every chance of going in.
This will be a 14-foot putt here. Continues to hold that sizable lead on the rest of the field. Frank, the par 5 12th is another case of a hole where you see that Wolf Creek Golf Club can actually be kind of scary, daunting. I mean, you look out at the desert mountains, and then you add in some water, which we have here on the left, and you can go for some big numbers here if you're not careful.
Well, this is where the Wolf and the Creek can take a bite out of you. You hit it left off the tee, then you're certainly going to start to rack up a number. There's enough fairway down the right, but once again, if you hit a good drive and this hole is reachable for you, then you've got to worry about the water, which is to the right of this green. 5 wouldn't be the worst score you could make around here, that's for sure. I've seen 6s and 7s.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. That's how you maintain momentum. Make those putts for par. 13th hole, and Frank, Wolf Creek is really kind of a macho golf course because you can stand on a tee like this and say, you know what? I'm going to take this one over the mountains.
And then, if you do, then you flip the coin. Is it in play or is it out of play? This is one hole. You just you realize you're in the middle of the desert, that's for sure. And one hole that you think, if I play this hole a couple of times, I might just get the hang of it.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. Ooh, that hurts. That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey, drop shot here at the 13th. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Now to the 14th hole, and Frank, this is probably the best par 4 here at Wolf Creek.
Well, it's certainly the hole that they take the most photographs on, Rich, and you can see why. Great vantage point of the whole golf course. The hole's just sort of littered with bunkers down the left side, so you know where not to go once again. Go to the right side of that. Hole just keeps sort of hooking around that left side. It plays under 450 yards. It's fun. Just sort of draw it a little off the tee, draw it a little into the green, and you'll be fine.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one.
And there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
Frank, not close, but from that line, not bad.
No, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Frank, we see it every single round. These kind of putts determine whether it's a good score or an average score.
Yeah, and just like that, a bogey. He does not feel like he deserves it.
Blemish on the scorecard, a bogey. Short par 4, 16th hole, measures only 393 yards. But Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays tricks on the mind's eye here. It looks like it's a dog leg going one way, then back the other way. But really, it's built as a straight hole just across the canyon. And that's the way you've got to play it. I don't think you can drive the green, even the longest hitters at 393 yards. But just a nice drive down there. Take the bunkers on, get it past there, and before you know it, you've got a little wedge in here, and it should set up nicely for a birdie. Don't blame the computer on this one. This is way offline.
Well, it's not a glitch. Not very good at all right there.
No, I think it's time to sell the clubs, buy a tennis racket.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Clean this up with a tap.
No, that double bogey there, Rich, that hole is gone forever.
Time to regroup, and fast. So 2 holes left to play. Now the final par 5 on the course, 562 yards, the 17th.
The drive looks relatively straightforward, and I say that because there's a little creek down there that obviously you have to stay short of. But that's the fun part. They want to keep you back in an area where you go, can I hit the second shot across the stream, across the water, and still keep it on the green? And the answer is, I don't know. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. These putts keep the round together. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. 18th hole, and Frank, again, a good scoring opportunity. Short par 4.
Yeah, if you looked at the scorecard, you'd think you could drive this green, but one quick look at the trouble in front and to the right of the screen, and you realize that's probably not the prudent play. Really, something 230, 240 yards off the tee in that vicinity is going to leave you just a flick wedge into this green.
So toweled off, dried off, and ready to go.
Yeah, let's hope this swing he hasn't still got the floaties on.
Third shot now after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that you got punished for.
That's a disappointment right there, Frank.
Yeah, green light special, really. Come up considerably short.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Well, that is frustrating, Frank. Cannot get it out of the bunker.
He's not done yet.
Just a little offline, so now, Frank, he's going to have to deal with a rough.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how strong he is.
So the double bogey won't hurt too badly as we look at the leaderboard now. Still in a good position. That'll put a wrap on our final round coverage for all of us at EA Sports. I'm Rich Lerner. We'll see you next time. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live first-round coverage of the Boston Championship.
Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. And he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Well, he didn't knock down the flagstick right there, but 25 feet, that's not too bad.
Even par, currently.
That's just downright embarrassing. On the putting surface, and now off on the fringe. Wow. And getting ready for the putt. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. If you're just joining us, let's take you out to our featured golfer at the 5th. Frank, what have you seen in the early going from our featured golfer?
A little bit of a struggle, unsurprisingly, really. Rich, just a little messy. This wasn't to be expected. Time to sort of tighten all the screws there, have a rethink, and try and put some red numbers on the board.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time. But he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
The swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. He has a 12-footer here. So, 2 over par for the round. All right, Frank, now to the 6th hole. It's a 465-yard par 4. What are the keys?
Well, it's framed beautifully by the trees just in front of the tee, so you know exactly where you're trying to go down there. 2 little bunkers on the right if you stray a little right, and if you stray a little left, you might just make it to the water. Oh, that's off the beaten track. You got 5 minutes to find it.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So Frankie is leaning, and it appears as though this one's headed a bit right.
Yeah, just came out of it. I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. So close.
Now putt for par.
For the par. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Frank, now a big par 5, the 7th hole.
Yeah, there's an interesting feature on this par 5. About 100 yards short of the green is that huge cross bunker. So a good tee shot, that shouldn't be a problem. Stray a little, and then your mind is definitely on that.
This is when the game is fun, Frank, when you get one high in the air and you have a down breeze and you just watch it stays in the air forever.
Yeah, the hang time on that.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. In the bunker, still with a chance for an up and down. Well, in the sand, but it has been raked nicely, looking for something positive. Trying to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. So, 1 over par for the round. Coming off the long par 5/7, now a par 3, 213 yards. What's the 8th hole all about?
Another hole that picks with the same theme. Really want to fly this nice and high. That narrow part at the front of the green really is to be avoided unless the flag is there.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Well, he's going for back-to-back birdies here, trying to jumpstart this round.
Some momentum moving in the right direction.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Just trying to keep this round on track. Has that putt, stays at 1 over. Well, Frank, as they say up here in New England, that wraps up another wicked good round.
Yeah, you've just played one of the best golf courses up in New England area, and it was the best time of the year to play it.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second of the Boston Championship. Now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Nothing wrong with that one. Only about 15 feet away and a chance for birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, I'm sure it feels good to get some red numbers on the card, but this tournament is probably too far out of reach at this point.
No question.
What a drive. Just tattooed that. And from the fairway for his second shot here. appears to be tracking well. Big swing right there, and a great result. And now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an even coming up. Well, hello there. That's an eagle.
Might be languishing in the middle of the pack, but at least celebrate that.
All right, Frank, we're teed up at the 15th, and a lot to talk about with your caddy on this tee shot.
Yeah, which club, which line, series of bunkers down. He goes after it like he is here.
Really powering up here. Frank, I know you like boxing. That was some heavyweight power right there.
Smoked it.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Now comfortably inside that cut line, the former national champ makes birdie. Frank, here at the 16th, you really see this sort of New England character, don't you?
Yeah, that stone wall now protects that sort of two-tiered green, and it sort of showcases the golf course. It just fits in beautifully with what Hans and Faxon have done to the golf course.
This is a good-looking shot. See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Par yesterday, now for birdie.
Things pointed to a good week. Birdie there, very important right now.
Playing some good golf. Frank, 412 yards on the card doesn't look like a whole lot, but
you can play a little longer, because really you've got to play it down the right. Don't play it as a dogleg. Just go point A and then point B.
that appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. And it makes the green in regulation. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Jeez, that one just blew past the hole. It's actually on the fringe right now. Frank, nothing really went the player's way this week.
Yeah, if this was motor racing, you'd say it's a case of having 4 flat tires.
Frank, the par 5 18th here at TPC Boston, this is a chance to be a hero.
Oh, there is. The mere mortals play it down the left side. Everything slopes from left to right. But that bunker, with a puff of breeze behind, if you can carry that, you are one of the longest hitters around.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
Sit down. Get down.
Oh, this is going. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
He'll take par and move on. Frank, I have to say, I've been impressed by the level of golf today. Really came out here with a solid game plan and executed.
And consequently, a very solid round. Continuing with that kind of play can certainly put you in the winner's seat.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Boston Championship. Frank, like all TPC golf courses, TPC Boston has the fan in mind. So you see those mounds throughout the golf course that gives people a chance to just sit, relax, and watch some golf. And there's a nice shady spot on the hill behind the 11th.
Yeah, that's just before the 12th tee, and you really do get a look at the tee shots coming in 11, as well as the little undulations and contours on that massive green.
Superb shot.
That's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Settles in over the putt. Excellent read for birdie to move to 5 under for the tournament. Now at the 461-yard par 4 12th, how do you play it, Frank?
Well, hit two of your best here. Somehow find the fairway, and then you'd take anything on the green here. You see a lot of sixes here over the years.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. And now we'll have this for birdie.
It's no snack, though. It's amazing. Doesn't matter how close it goes. It's an extra shot. That one will definitely hurt.
Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Ball's teed up at the par 4 13th.
And you want to keep that ball in the air as much as you can. Carry that air on the left side. That's a big tee shot, somewhere in that sort of 300-yard mark. Well, par fours, they're not all the same, Rich, but after that tee shot, I guess you can say this one's going to be easy.
That was a beauty right there. This won't hurt him. Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. This for birdie.
Oh, that was nasty.
That's an outrage right there. I mean, if there's a high commission of golfdom, we need to consult them right now because it's just simply not fair, Frank. It's not.
I think the people above are frowning on the people below.
Back here at the par 4 14th, ready to tee off. This is a big dog leg to the left, 495-yard hole, Frank.
Yeah, don't try and hug that left side too much. There's a bunch of little mounds, and the chances of getting a good lie there, next to none.
Wow, Frank, look at that one run out. Just blistered that tee shot.
Well, that has to be 325 if it's an inch. Second shot.
Good-looking shot right here. That is just an outstanding shot right there. And now a chance for an eagle. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
And that hurts. Just a couple of feet. So into the top 15 on the leaderboard with that birdie. A few more, and who knows, maybe top 10 or top 5. So through 3 rounds, just outside the top 10, what kind of a chance do you give a player who is sitting outside the first 10?
Yeah, it's slim. I certainly would not say none, though, Rich. You know, we've countless times over the years seen someone post an early one in and watch the leaders crumble at the end. Good opportunity tomorrow. Put a good round on the board and then just sit back and wait. And then remember, there's also the chance of a playoff.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Boston Championship.
Ball just took off the face.
Frank, I mean, he put the thumb down on that one.
And kept it going, too. To mash that down like that, that's the air time, the hang time he got out.
That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time that one gets him in the top 10.
Here we are at the 16th now, looking at just over 160 yards.
You can sense the fear, can't you? Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Get in. Yes, good putt. Frank, 412 yards on the card doesn't look like a whole lot, but
It can play a little longer, because really you've got to play it down the right. Don't play it as a dogleg. Just go point A and then point B.
paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston has generated a lot of buzz through the years, hasn't it?
It has, and those changes have just made this finishing hole so much better. The fact that they've narrowed up the front of the green, they've made that left side more severe. Now you can't bail out on the left. If you do, it's an awful little pitch or even a putt up the hill.
The addition of that putt bunker, Frank, how has that changed the hole?
Well, if you stray off the tee or find one of those bunkers with your tee shot, you really have to be aware of exactly the distance that little pot bunker is away. Because if you just sort of whack it out of the bunker and lay it up there, you find the next bunker, then you're in trouble.
Out of the sand and back on the fairway.
Yeah, good shot. Just really utilized that little bit between the ears. Realized he couldn't reach the green and instead opted for fairway. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
So maybe a nice way to finish up with a good approach here to the 18th and a good chance for birdie.
It's that sneaky distance.
Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Good putt. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf. And it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.
EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. What really sets Quail Hollow apart here at the Wells Fargo Championship, the brutal finishing stretch. They call it the Green Mile, and we are excited to bring you all of the tournament action. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up. Get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
On the green, and a chance for birdie.
Even par, currently.
Frank, that's what you want to do. Good lag putt.
Yeah, they can't all go in.
Locked in on the read and the speed. How does that stay out?
I have no earthly idea. Let's crawl that. Hole's round. Ball's meant to go in.
Clean this up with a tap. Well, with that drop shot, moves to 1 over for the tournament. Been fun so far. Let's see what's happening. Out at hole number 5. With a key stretch of holes ahead, our featured golfer really has struggled in the early going, Frank.
Yeah, a few mistakes out there, unforced errors you might want to say. So really, attention to detail should be the concern right now.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. He has a 12-footer here. Didn't go in, Frank, but not a bad effort.
You'd like that one again?
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Frank, this is where you know that players like Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy are playing a different game than guys like me. They step up to this 250-yard par 3, and they might hit a 5-iron. It is a little downhill, but they might be with a middle iron, where a lot of us would be with a driver.
Well, you see the advantage of that power on this very hole, not just because of the length they got to hit it, but the green they're heading into. This green slopes off in both directions, right and left, so you have to land that ball in the middle of the green. So, yeah, it's a big advantage if you can go at this hole with like a 5-iron.
That's good stuff right there. Wonderful approach, and now a really good look at birdie. Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now. Try to walk away with the par. Par bid here. Okay, has it and stays at 1 over par. Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5/7.
In today's game, 530 plus change you'd think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Frank, he could make eagle right here with a really good approach shot.
Yeah, well within his reach, too. And, Rich, if we just sit back and relax here, I think we're going to see perhaps a very good look at eagle coming up.
This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Wow, I thought he made that. Wow, I didn't expect that.
Rich, it's been a very good workmanlike performance. Yet another birdie.
Into the top 15 on the leaderboard. Frank, I love a drivable par 4. In the modern power game, it really adds an element of excitement. And here we go at the 350-yard par 4-8.
Well, you're definitely going to love this one then, Rich, because it ticks all the boxes here. There's no water in play, just a few bunkers down the left and the one that protects the right side of the green. And you've got a really narrow green, so plenty of reward with minimal risk.
This has been a tee to green clinic. Absolutely perfect. Everything coming off the center of the club face and everything in regulation. Well, he knew it right from the start. Just a poor putt. And getting ready for the putt. Drops it, and he's at even par. Frank, once again, we saw a lot of outstanding golf here at Quail Hollow.
And we saw why this is such a great driver's course, Rich. The fact that so many holes bend in different directions, the ability to hit the correct tee shot, and the reward you get when you do it. Quail Hollow certainly stands up to the best in the country.
We enjoyed it from the tower. For Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner, saying so long until next time. This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming your way. And we welcome you to one of the most popular golf courses on the PGA Tour. It is Quail Hollow. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Frank, it is just starting to heat up out on the golf course. Fans are streaming in, anticipating a highly contested event with the best golfers in the world.
One reason the fans love this course so much, Rich, the Green Mile. It's fine to have a good golf course, but it's got to have a great finish. It's got a great finish, then it becomes a great golf course. Quail Hollow has that great finish of 16, 17, and 18. Rich, there's rough and rough. That ball is needle nose down.
Can't even see it from here. All right, this is the second attempt on this hole from 110 yards away. This is a good-looking shot. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
These are the kind of putts that keep the round going about 10 feet away for par. These putts keep the round together. Just hammered that par putt, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he was thinking or what was going through his mind right there, but he better wake up in a hurry, because if this one doesn't go in, that score is going to rack up very quickly.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Frank, how do you explain what we saw here?
It's a mess. It's probably the easiest way to put it. This is a case of anything that could go wrong, not just probably, it did.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time.
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, we always say about Quail Hollow, you have to play with a clear head. You have to be thinking your way around this golf course. So what's the right thought process on this second shot?
Keep the ball in the right section. That front portion there, you can't afford to go long when the flag's there. Conversely, when the flag's in the back, you can't afford to be putting up and over that ridge. So you've got to be flying that ball all the way back there.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Jeez, that one just blew past the hole. It's actually on the fringe right now. Just a couple of feet. Losing a bit of ground now in this tournament. With the bogey, falls to 2 over. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required. Safely on deck.
He'll take that one all day long. Very solid, about 15 feet away. Getting set now over the putt. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Has his par. Well, Frank, as we arrive at the par 4 14th, just 345 yards, our players no doubt are looking for a little advice from a guy who's been there. You've done it at the highest level. What's the right play here?
Rich, after all these years, I think it's like a modified tee shot. And what I'm going to say with that is like a strong 3-wood, something that pitches around 270 and kicks 30 or 40 yards, finishes up about 20 yards short of the green. I think that's the best call. You won't be able to get at all the flags, but I think you play the whole under par for the week.
When's the right time to pull out the big driver and have a go at this green?
I don't think there is, but maybe you at home should try.
That was not a very good read right there. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. We haven't seen a whole lot of that, Frank, but that has to feel good. Now at the par 5, 15th hole, 577 yards. Frank, you remember what Rory McIlroy did here in 2010, that final round, 62?
I certainly do, Rich. That was an amazing run on the second 9. And holes like this, too. He just stood up here with a driver and just obliterated it down there with a nice draw, took those bunkers out of play and just set up a mid-iron.
We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Just in the first cut of rough, not a bad lie. The only issue is he might get a jumper here. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. So a tester from 4 feet. Well, hello there. That's an eagle.
Might be languishing in the middle of the pack, but at least celebrate that.
That concludes the second round here at this amazing golf course. And Frank, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
I certainly am as well. The players have gotten off to a very good start, and they must have a good feel for the course right now and know what they have to do in order to win.
This is EA Tour coverage coming up next. Welcome to the home of the Wells Fargo Championship, where the likes of Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, and long-hitting J.B. Holmes have all won. It was first opened for play in 1961. It has really grown through the years, and it is now played by the best in the world. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Let's jump down to the golf course. That was just a beautiful drive. He hit it solid and right in the middle. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. So they get it to 2 under with that birdie. Here we are at the par 5 fifth. It's 570 yards. Frank, this should be reachable for most players, don't you think?
Yeah, if you hit a good tee shot, especially with the draw, it will be. But the hardest part of this is judging that kick on the fairway that kicks the ball to the right. And it sort of turns at that awkward area at where the top of your tee shot range. That's where that dog leg is. Tom Weisskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my own.
It looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow through. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Count that for eagle. Frank, this is where you know that players like Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy are playing a different game than guys like me. They step up to this 250-yard par 3 and they might hit a 5-iron. It is a little downhill, but they might be with a middle iron where a lot of us would be with a driver.
Well, you see the advantage of that power on this very hole, not just because of the length they've got to hit it, but the green they're heading into. This green slopes off in both directions, right and left, so you have to land that ball in the middle of the green. So, yeah, it's a big advantage if you can go at this hole with like a 5-iron. A few more birdies like that, Rich, you never know, just might sneak place on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. Well, Frank, an eagle is in play here at the par 5 7th.
And a 6, and a 7, and an 8, or a 9, actually. This is a potential scorecard record, the 7th hole. Many a tee shot has found that creek on the right, trees, problems on the left. There's no question there's a reward for a good tee shot here. But then there's a decision on do you go for this par 5 and 2. It's not overly long, just over 530 yards. It is very tempting.
Split the fairway with that. Just a gorgeous swing. Frankie could make eagle right here with a really good approach shot.
Yeah, well within his reach, too. And, Rich, if we just sit back and relax here, I think we're going to see perhaps a very good look at eagle coming up.
This could be a good one. Just a sensational shot, and he will have that for an eagle.
Amazing. Just like that, pick up 2 on the field.
Sensational effort. An eagle, and a good move on the leaderboard.
Name up there in bright lights. Interesting to see if that gets a little attention.
Frank, I love a drivable par 4. In the modern power game, it really adds an element of excitement. And here we go at the 350-yard par 4/8.
Well, you're definitely going to love this one then, Rich, because it ticks all the boxes here. There's no water in play, just a few bunkers down the left and the one that protects the right side of the green. And you've got a really narrow green, so plenty of reward with minimal risk. Oh, and just busts out an eagle when things were as tight as can
be. There you have it. Round 3 is finished, and it was a good one, Frank.
Yeah, after 3 rounds in, you really could start to see who could take home the trophy when it's all said and done. Great play, though, up until this point. Round 4 should be an absolute thriller.
Coverage comes and the PGA Tour. Thanks for joining us here today in Charlotte, North Carolina for the final round of the Wells Fargo Championship. Frank, what do we have out here today?
Well, if history has a chance of repeating itself, remember those great closing rounds by Rory McIlroy? That 62, that was one of the best rounds ever shot that year. Back in 2010, and of course that playoff too. Ricky Fowler back in 2012. We actually beat out then world number 1 Rory McIlroy with that stunning drive down the finishing hole and brilliant wedge to a tight flag. This golf course, it can give it, it can take it away, but for us, from where we're sitting, Rich, we'll enjoy the view today.
No doubt about it.
Ball just took off the face.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back nine.
Second shot.
And that one lands in the first cut, Frank.
Interesting choice coming ahead here. It'll be interesting to see how he reads this lie.
That was a pretty nasty lie out of the rough. He did the right thing there, Frank. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Locked in on the read and the speed. Missed putt and a drop shot here at the 10th. That's a bad bogey at a bad time in the tournament.
And you'd like to think it's just a slip on the controller.
Now to the par 4 11. Frank, what do you think of this hole?
It's an interesting hole, Rich, and I'm curious to see how aggressive players will play here today. The easy way, obviously, is just hit it down the right side and set up a nice second shot with a short iron. Or the most fun way is to take the big stick out and try and bite off as much of that corner as you choose. But be prepared to pay the price should it not come off.
Oh, look out, Frank. Where's this one headed?
This is definitely rough, Rich, off the tee.
Ends up in the first cut, and you have a pretty good look at the hole location from here. That is going just a tad to the left, it appears.
Hopefully there's enough green that left side.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Frank, that birdie will help the cause. Frank, I think the mark of a good golf course design, changing directions. We go from a right to left hole, now at the 12th, to a left to right hole.
Yeah, there's no two holes at Quail Hollow that look the same. And this one's slightly downhill. Fairway tilts a little bit to the right. And it's a bit of a sleeper. And plus you add in on top of that 450 yards plus. This is a fairway that has to be hit.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. On the green in regulation. Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's certainly going to help the confidence.
Did a nice job with that putt. Good read, good speed. Shouldn't be a problem here.
And that par certainly won't hurt the cause.
Still some time. Here we are at the par 3 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. Wow, Frank, this is a really good little par 4, isn't it, the 14th?
It is, and this is where one of those strong 3-woods comes in. The last 50 or 60 yards is the ball kicks down and towards the left, and it sounds like an aggressive play, but like a hard 3-wood trying to run it down there is actually not a bad play.
Is it drivable?
It is drivable, but it's whether it's worth the risk.
Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Safely aboard. Getting set now over the putt. Good birdie right there, moving to third place on the leaderboard. Now as we arrive at the par 5 15th hole here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. Frank, I think a player has to be thinking about doing what Rory McIlroy did in 2010.
It's the last of the holes that you can really be aggressive on, Rich. So a good drive down here. I'm well aware of the fact that there's water on the left. This is a good chance to make something happen before you play the green mile.
And that's what McIlroy did. Hit a tracer, then a 5-iron, knocked it in for eagle, shot 62, and won for the first time on the PGA Tour.
This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Not a gimme, but well within his range. And with that birdie, moves into second place. This is the start of what some say is the toughest finishing stretch on the PGA Tour. It's known as the Green Mile. Frank, what makes it so challenging?
Well, this hole in particular, Rich, the dogleg right, it means it plays every inch of it's just over 500 yards. That bunker you can see down the right, 325 yards to carry that. If you can fly the ball that far, at least you can chew off 2/3 of this hole, and that is well required here. Otherwise, it's a long, long second shot.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Just 5 feet left. Wow, I thought he made that.
Oh, I thought they'd at least pick up a shot. Birdie looked like a sitter. Now par.
In for par. Just 2 holes remaining here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the signature par 3, 221 yards, the 17th.
And they have a multitude of tees here. One of the new back tees is actually where the old 16th green was. And if you think don't go left is the way to play, then that won't work either, because right's not that much good. This is it. Stand on the tee, and you better hit a good shot.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Man.
I just pushed it.
Oh, that hurts. And he's putting for par now. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area, just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
That is classy.
They had a chance of going in.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. That was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
What a day of golf we saw out there today at Quail Hollow. Outstanding win for this young golfer. Frank, what's your takeaway?
Rich, we can see why Quail Hollow has cemented its place on the PGA Tour roster. This is a golf course that gives us every type of shot that the viewer would like to see and the player would like to hit.
Well said, Frank. For all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long from the Wells Fargo Championship. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Players. There really is nothing like it in golf. The stadium course at TPC Sawgrass, home to the Players Championship. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. And what a golf course, Frank. And obviously the most famous hole is that little island, par 3, 17th. And it's the ultimate hold-your-breath moment. When that ball is airborne on a Sunday afternoon, you don't know. Wet or dry, victory or agonizing defeat.
It's certainly a great temptress. And it's fitting in this golf course that was created for two reasons by Pete Dye. It was created to be a cliffhanger of sorts and to test the great players of the world. And, of course, it was built with natural viewing in mind. So it's the perfect stadium venue for this championship. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Tough game, Frank. You can hit 300-yard drives and miss 3-foot putts.
Yeah, there's the ecstasy, and that's the agony. Even par, currently.
Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Action resuming early on the back nine. Let's go to hole number 11. Been a steady performance so far early in this first round, but at some point, Frank, they need to take steady to spectacular.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Rich, and really sooner rather than later, that's for sure. But, yeah, steady becomes boring if it stays on for too long.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Stuck the follow through right there. This could be really good. Pure strike, good result.
And that is close.
And getting ready for the putt. Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Up now, hole number 12. It's a short one, 358 yards, par 4.
This can catch you off guard. If you just try and hit the ball on the fairway, if you're on the middle of the fairway, the left side, you will have a blind second shot. So ideally, hit it down that right side of the fairway if you want to see the flag. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Now the approach to the 12th, Frank. What's the player looking at?
Well, it's a fun shot here for the second shot, especially if you've driven it down the right side, because then you can see the flag no matter where it is on the green.
On the green in regulation. Watches that one go in as well to get to -3 for the championship. Frank, 17 gets so much attention here at the TPC Sawgrass, but 13, par 3, is exciting in its own right.
It is, and it's actually more difficult than 17. One of the reasons it's longer, and also the green here. 17 obviously has two sections in it, front and top. This has, I don't think there's a flat piece on it. And every now and again we watch a ball roll all over this green and actually find the cup for the odd ace.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
It's no snack, though.
That's an important birdie right there, into the top 5 on this leaderboard.
Well, there's so much at stake this week, Rich.
14th hole, 481-yard par 4, ranking 2nd in difficulty, Frank.
Yeah, this one always gets overlooked, Rich. You've only got to flick the drive a little left, and all of a sudden your round just gets completely wrecked. Ask Vijay Singh. It cost him a Players' Championship. Many a player there has dealt with that left side. You will pay the price.
Well, this one has a chance to be really good. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Wow, Frank, look at that one run out. Just blistered that tee shot.
That has to be 325 if it's an inch.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Great shot coming out of that bunker right there.
Showing some skills today.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. No damage done. Made the par. Now to the 15th, and Frank, I know this is a hole that you really like.
Yeah, it gets no respect in my book, which I think is a shame. Just a nice dogleg to the right, and really 2 good shots, and a 3 here, which is actually a rarity. It sets you up for those closing 3 holes. Too often people just take 15 lightly, and 15 has just a gentle nibble that turns into a bite.
Well, at least he can draw on the experience from the previous hole. Again, in the bunker. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
His second shot.
Well, that's a little absurd, that, Rich. The shot wasn't that hard, but it's come up well short.
Didn't appear committed through impact. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. So a tester from 4 feet. Showing no signs of weakness. That's a good putt right there. Stays at 4 under.
That was a great first day out there, Rich.
I really enjoyed it. We saw a lot of birdies, excellent play, and some impressive names on top of this leaderboard. Anybody's game. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Players. Welcome once again to TPC Sawgrass for the Players. This is Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action. And Frank, the 17th hole is always the place to be during this great championship.
It certainly is, Rich. The energy, as we know, each and every year has just been electric at 17. and I don't expect it to be any different today.
Interesting, with the almost space-age advancements in golf equipment, what with new, lighter materials, and with the increased focus on fitness and strength, players are hitting the ball longer than ever. That has forced architects to lengthen the golf courses without sacrificing the integrity or the shot value of the original design. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Good job right there, now making a move and setting himself up for, who knows, a good weekend run, maybe at another title. The former college standout has been excellent today.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 3-2-0. 320 yards, just crushed it in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Clean this up with a tap. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Frank, this is a hole that I really like. The 8th, 237-yard par 3, just a necklace of bunkers surrounding the green. What's the best approach?
You come out through that chute or that hallway of trees there, and this being the longest of the 4 par 3s at TPC Sawgrass, the green actually plays much smaller than what it looks because of that narrow entry.
And this is looking really good. Wow, what a day. Every green hit in regulation. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Good birdie right there, Frank.
Oh, time to get another cup of coffee. Things are heating up.
Frank, I think this is one of the most fascinating holes on the golf course. The 583-yard par 5 9th hole.
With technology now, a lot more players can reach this par 5 and 2. Gone are the days where it was a true 3-shotter, but I remember when Sergio Garcia hit that 3-wood from, what was it, 270, 280 yards? Still one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole.
Second shot.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Getting set now over the putt. Frank, that's the biggest roar I've heard all week long. That was an eagle roar.
For good reason, not just an eagle too. All of a sudden, back in contention.
Now on to one of the most exciting back nines in golf here at the TPC Sawgrass and the stadium course. Let's begin at number 10, Frank, and what do you make of this hole?
It's another one where you're just trying to fit the tee shot in the fairway there. It's not a driver, just something that stays right. And of course, we've seen a lot of people stray here down the left side. Who can forget Mickelson when he won his Players' Championship, hitting that phenomenal 7-iron out of the fairway bunker, through the trees, and still finding the putting surface. But speaking of the putting surface, This green has more undulations than just about any green on the golf course.
Good swing, good shot yet again. Early part of this second nine and a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
No, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
And this will be a... Beautiful touch. Nice putt. Let's go to the 11th. Now, it's a par 5 and a fun hole, Frank. You can make anything from 3 to 7 here.
And that's why, as the start of the back nine, especially on a Sunday, this becomes such a pivotal hole to start a run. Big body of sand down the left side that sometimes the longer hitters can get close to with the tee shot, but really it's the second shot. If you can reach this par 5 and 2, it's a very narrow green. The layup, well, it's actually an awkward layup, Rich, because you've got to push that ball to the left side, almost like a zigzag approach.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Crucial eagle attempt on the way. Shouldn't be a problem here. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's third-round coverage of the Players. We're at the TPC Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, for one of the game's most prestigious titles, the Players Championship. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, getting him another good look. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie.
That's the cruelest thing about this game, Rich. I mean, it's just now it's another shot.
Did the job right there. TPC Sawgrass, the fabled stadium course designed by the legendary Pete Dye. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Here at the 8th, Frank, most players are happy walking out of here with a par 3.
And the reason why, it's a very narrow entry to this green. It's just littered with bunkers around, left, behind, to the side, and even short. Once you get further up the green, though, even though this is sort of an undulating green, it starts to widen up. So don't get trapped into just looking at the front of this hole.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle. Even par, currently.
Come on, you have to make that, don't you? Drop shot here at the 8th. Just a little tap in here.
Not a good time to make a bogey.
Drops down to second place. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
It just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2, but you can make an absolute mess here at 9.
No fairway here, this one in that rough. Ends up in the first cut, and he'll have a pretty good look at the hole location from here. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Always 2 components to the long lag putt, the speed, number 1, and then the read. And missed out on that second part.
Given the situation, Rich, things so tight at the top. Very, very good birdie.
That was huge right there. Still with a great chance to come away with this title.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Well, that is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
Frank, this is good golfing weather. Nice, strong breeze. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Continuing his fine flight. Another beautiful approach shot.
Chance for back-to-back.
Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. Now to the 11th, par 5.
Good tee shot, and then you certainly think about hitting a hybrid or a lofted fairway wood into this green that's really narrow, one of the narrowest on the golf course. There's a little pot bunker left of this green when you go for 2 that often swallows up that second shot if it's a little bit too conservative. But there's a lake there. Seen more than one ball splash in the pond over the years.
Out of the sand and back on the fairway.
Yeah, good shot. Just really utilized that little bit between the ears. Realized he couldn't reach the green and instead opted for fairway.
I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Birdie putt coming up. The par on this hole yesterday. Chalk that up as a birdie for the scorecard. Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Players. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, coming to you from one of the game's most famous venues, the TPC Sawgrass, home to the Players.
And home of the Players too, the PGA Tour professionals that play the tour. They basically run and own this wonderful venue. It is their championship, and it's one that each one of those players playing here this week would want to win. It might not be considered a major, but the Players, it is their championship. Has it?
Maybe wet. Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Par yesterday, now for birdie. You'll love them, the birdies, and that's another one. All right, Frank, this one gets everybody's attention. The 14th, 481 yards, par 4.
It's not just the length of this hole. Water down the left, mounds to the right. This is it. You've got to buckle up here. Tee it up. This has to be your best swing.
Long drive, but a bad lie.
Wicked.
And the second shot from 110 yards.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich. It's no snack, though.
Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Good putt. Back to the TPC Sawgrass, the 15th hole. It's a par 4 as we make our way to this finishing stretch. And Frank, what's in store for the Players here?
He's going for a little extra.
Really powering up here.
Long just met longer.
That, Frank, is position A.
Wouldn't you like to have that in your bag every day?
Love it. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
Oh, good roll, good putt.
You licking your chops here, Frank, as a player, when you get to this tee box?
Well, it's an opportunity. A 4 here certainly makes the mood better when you walk to 17 and then 18. So a 4 here is more than just making a birdie on a par 5. That's beyond long.
That is a sensational play right there, and you have to think that the little helping breeze gave that a nice boost.
It can't be that good.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Just 5 feet left. That is so painful when you come up that short.
Why is it that putts on line come up short?
Everybody loves them. Birdie on the card. Now to maybe the most famous hole in the whole sport. It's the 17th here at the stadium course, the TPC Sawgrass. Frank, if you look at it on the card, it seems so simple. It's just 137 yards. For the best in the world, that's a pitching wedge, maybe a 9-iron. And yet every year we see nightmares galore.
And that's where you have to remind yourself what can and what does happen here. I normally cut the green in half here. It's 26 yards deep. So if you just take 13 yards off the yardage, you have 124 yards to the middle of the green. That has to be your target. This is no time to be a hero. You can still have a putt for birdie.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. People always talk about 17 being visually intimidating. Frank, what about 18?
If there's a little bit of wind off the right, the tee shot is so much easier. But if that wind is coming off the water, not only do you see the water and the wooden bulkheads, you see all the rough and the trees on the right. And of course, then you start bringing 5, 6, 7, even 8 into play. That's what makes this tee shot so hard.
You got all of that one in straight, 325 yards in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. And this one just starts right of the flag.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
To win the Players' Championship. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. What a great tournament finish. This one is in the books. And look who finished on top of the leaderboard.
Rich, this has to go down as a classic.